Hey guys, JackCXE here, and today I'm going to be talking about the fragrances that I wore for the week of 8/31. This week's theme was fall fragrances that are warm and spicy. If you like this type of content, I'm going to be uploading weekly with updates on the fragrances that I wore for the week, and if you do like this sort of content, hope you'll consider subscribing. That being said, let's get into the video. On Sunday, I wore Jet Black Platinum from the house of Michael Malone. So this is obviously a decant. My bottle broke, the atomizer kind of fell out, so it doesn't spray very well, but this one, surprisingly, very good atomizer for a cheap travel spray bottle that I was able to get in bulk. Regardless, let's get into the scent. So this fragrance is in the same style to fragrances such as Stronger With You. No, it's very sweet, it's very indulgent, it's got cinnamon and toffee. That in the air, stuff smells phenomenal. It's very warm, it's very inviting. It has a fruity sweetness to it that sets it apart from the Stronger With You fragrances. It smells a bit like apple cider, if I had to describe it. No, very fruity, very warm, very spicy. It's super phenomenal and very underrated. Like, I know that Jen Sense has many collaborations with Michael Malone, but aside from that, I don't really feel like the house of Michael Malone gets a lot of love in the community. From everything that I smell from them, all their stuff is pretty phenomenal. If you have the opportunity, definitely check this one out. I think it's pretty underrated and I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. That being said, on Sunday, I wore Jet Black Platinum from the house of Michael Malone. On Monday, I wore Spice Bomb Infrared, the Eau de Toilette from Viktor and Rolf. So I made a video of ranking all of the Spice Bomb fragrances, and I'll link it in the description. Little bit of a spoiler alert, this one was ranked #1 for me. It's warm, it's indulgent. The cinnamon in here has an amazing fiery spiciness to it. It reminds me of Red Hots, or more specifically the cinnamon Altoids. My mom used to buy those a whole lot, and this perfectly encapsulates that kind of fiery, light sweetness that those candies have. As I'm sure you can tell, a lot of these fragrances have cinnamon. This is no exception, and this is discontinued, but you can still find it readily available at discounters. As soon as the stock of the bottles dries up, I'm sure that this is going to be going for a lot more. While it's still affordable, $50 to $60 from a house such as Viktor and Rolf is a really amazing buy. And for the value you get from this, performance is really strong. It projects well, it lasts a really long time, and this is a fragrance that I don't see really getting a lot of love. And for the phenomenal bang for your buck you can get this for right now, it's definitely worth a shot. If you can try it, definitely try it. If you can get it, definitely do so. Yeah, this is my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, and definitely if you can get it, get it. That being said, on Monday, Spice Bomb Infrared, Eau de Toilette from Viktor and Rolf. On Tuesday, I wore Velours Boise from the house of Jacques Foth. So I really like this one. I got a haul from Jacques Foth a little while ago, and this was by far one of my favorite fragrances from that haul. No, it's warm, it's boozy, it's woody. It's got a touch of spicy herbalness to it that reminds me a bit of licorice, which, while I'm not a fan of licorice personally, I think this stuff smells phenomenal. It's dry, it's woody, it's not very sweet. There is a decent amount of sweetness to it. It takes second place to the woodiness, the warm booziness and spices that you get from this. It's very different from the fragrances that are really popular right now that have a lot of sweetness, a lot of tonka, a lot of vanilla. If you're looking for a fragrance in that style, but you want something that's a little bit more grown up, a little bit more classy, a little something that's not so youthful or club going. If you're an older gentleman and you want something in that style, but a lot of sweetness is too much for you, this is definitely worth a shot, and I'll try and link it below. That being said, on Tuesday, Velours Boise from the house of Jacques Foth. And on Wednesday, I wore Autumn Vibes from Maison Margiela. So this fragrance is very different from the other fragrances on the weekly rotation so far. While the other fragrances are very mass appealing, very easy to wear, this one's very different. It's earthy, it's dry. I picture when you're walking outside in the autumn, you got those dry, brown, crackly leaves underneath your feet, the sort of dry paperiness that you get from that scent profile with the earth, with the dirt, with a little bit of herbalness that you get from the leaves. This really encapsulates that scent profile perfectly. On Fragrantica, this gets a lot of hate. It's got a 3.5 star rating out of 5, which if you compare that to the other replica fragrances, that's very, very low. I still think that this fragrance, especially as art, is really, really nice. Now, it's not very mass appealing. It's very different with that earthiness. It's very unique and it's very particular. A lot of people are gonna smell this and think it smells terrible, but for me, I really like it. It's a different change of pace from the typical ultra sweet fragrances that are really popular right now, but it still smells very unique and I love it for that. The House of Maison Margiela really takes a chance with a lot of their fragrances. Unfortunately, some of them do get discontinued and become very, very expensive and hard to find. But as a fragrance that's meant to be artistic, this is very much so. It's bold, it takes chances, and I really, really respect the House of Maison Margiela for taking a risk on this one. That being said, on Wednesday, I wore Autumn Vibes from Maison Margiela. On Thursday, I wore Secret of Chapada from the House of Zaid Perfumes. So this scent to me is really, really solid. It smells like a warm roasted apple pie. Fresh out of the oven, gooey, melty. This has notes of apple and cinnamon that really sort of enhance that. It does have a lot of floral notes, which I don't really get too much, but if anything, I'd say those floral notes keep this from sitting too heavy. For an apple pie scent, it's relatively light too. It doesn't sit too heavy. Instead, it's a really nice balance between being sweet and warm and inviting, and also being a little bit light. I don't really get those floral notes per se, but I don't have a lot of experience with floral notes, so it's kind of hard for me to really pick any of them out. The House of Zaid has been really, really incredible. From the scents that I've smelled from them, none of them have been misses. They've all been hits. This is no exception. But that being said, on Thursday, I wore Secret of Chapada from the House of Zaid Perfumes. On Friday, I wore Stronger With You Intensely from the House of Emporio Armani. So this one is very similar to the Jet Black Platinum, in which it's got cinnamon and toffee, warm vanilla, tonka bean. As you can see, there's very little left in the bottle. Granted, I do buy secondhand bottles for very inexpensive just so I can smell them. And this was one of those scents that I got. Paid very little money for this. I've seen Intensely get a whole lot of hype online. I know it's one of the most popular scents from Giorgio Armani for the price point that I got it. Even though I'm not actually getting that much juice, I knew I had to pull the trigger on it. It's very warm, it's very inviting. It's similar to Jet Black Platinum, Azzaro, Wanted by Night, that sort of warm, spicy, sweet, seductive scent profile that's very popular nowadays. That scent profile can be a little bit overplayed. I think this one is one of the OGs that did it, and one of the original ones that sort of brought that warm, spicy scent profile to being front and center in men's perfumes. I can see why it's got so much hype, you know. It smells amazing, lasts a long time. While there are much more cheaper options out there, I definitely think that this one is worth getting your hands on, if not for the scent profile alone, but to sort of to get your nose on such an important fragrance in the history of fragrances. That being said, on Friday, or Stronger With You Intensely from the House of Emporio Armani. And lastly, on Saturday, I wore Pride of Ceylon from the House of Zaid Perfumes. So again, this is another knockout killer scent from the House of Zaid. This is a oud rose saffron combo. So if you smelled stuff like that, I imagine that if you to fragrances for a while, you've probably smelled something similar to it. This one tends to lean a little bit more towards the rose floral side to it. It's fruity up top, it's got raspberries in it, but the rose is the most prominent note in this fragrance. It's floral, it's animalic, it's sweet, it's a little bit spicy too, and above all, this is a really nice scent profile. This scent smells elegant, it's classy. This is not particularly versatile. Not a lot of these fragrances are, but it still smells phenomenal. If you wear this, you smell like money. You smell like class. This is rich. This is majestic. It's very, very solid. A lot of the other fragrances in the line, you can get it for around 45 bucks. This one's a little bit more expensive, but I imagine as time goes on, price is going to decrease. Definitely, if you can get your hands on at least the Discovery set, give this one a shot. If you tried a lot of oud rose saffron fragrances, this might be a little bit redundant, but still definitely worth a shot. Very solid, very elegant scent, and really enjoy this stuff. On Saturday, I wore Pride of Ceylon from the house of Zaid Perfumes. So guys, that was it for my weekly rotation. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments as to what you guys wore for the week of 8/31. I really enjoyed a lot of these fragrances. It's finally getting a lot cooler, so I'm really excited to be able to break out some of my heavy scents in my collection. That being said, if you do like this video, subscribe for more. I'm going to be posting one of these once a week, and hope you enjoyed the video. That being said, I hope you have a good day.